Good morning. I'm just going to start the session. My name is Annelies Schenk. I'm Executive Director of WaterSpark, a new initiative launched early this year. WaterSpark is a coalition to identify, fund, and increase adoption of innovative water solutions. We really say, how can we finally solve water? The WaterSpark Coalition believes that the status quo, along with the current methodology of capital allocation towards global water, is broken. We feel that there's not enough being done at the moment, and too much effort is being put in instant gratification impact strategies. We feel that we need to catalyze innovation and investments in technology and business models to solve our global water challenges. And we need to put our efforts into network, capital, expertise and knowledge, support and education. That's WaterSpark in a nutshell. The state of emergency around water, what we mainly focus on is the fact that the legacy systems are not sufficient to meet the rising demands. If we look at the numbers, then the disruptive solutions that are out there are not going to cover for what we need. Therefore, we will end up with a gap of 60%, which is measured by the Water Research Group. And that gap, that 60% gap, will ultimately lead to more and more water scarcity. Therefore, we need to focus, in our humble opinion, in innovative water technologies. We need to support them, accelerate and catalyze those technologies. The water sector has opportunities, a lot actually. We know what I just said, that 60% of the water shortage globally must be solved by innovative technologies. There is a lot of potential. The potential especially is on the smart technologies in water. If we would invest more in those technologies, it will lead to over $300 billion of savings. And we see in more countries that stricter regulations are putting in place. Those stricter regulations will also improve the quality and the quantity of water treatment. The number that we use the most is the number 11.7 trillion. If you take that back where we stand today, then we need almost 1 trillion a year to have the global water invested in the global water infrastructure. This is needed if we want to achieve SDG 6 by 2030. Those are big numbers, and water is still being seen that it comes out of your tap. But water is such a critical resource. It's not for nothing in this ImpactFest, part of the food, energy, water nexus. However, we don't use it right. Water is a finite resource and it's over allocated. There's more and more cities popping up, more people from the land go to the cities. So water is being used more and more. And we're not adopting and adjusting to that. So that's why we have WaterSpark. And WaterSpark has a purpose and wants to achieve a road to success. I'm not going to go over all these details. I want to just show you how we would like to do that. We've chosen 4 strategic pillars: unlock and deploy capital, accelerate innovation, expand awareness and engagement, and expand education. To explain them a little bit more, we need to just get basically more money into the water sector. That's what WaterSpark and the coalition, the water leaders want to achieve. Investments in water, investments in the technologies, but also investments in awareness programs, in the infrastructure, in projects, in programs that can help accelerate those innovation in a faster manner. That's what we want to unlock capital for. Then we get to accelerate innovation. There are acceleration programs. Actually, there are quite a few good acceleration programs, especially in the US, specifically on water. We feel that we need to strengthen those. That can be, again, with money, with knowledge, and with network, because most of those startup scale-ups need to find their way to the industry, to the utilities and the industrial end users. And that's where most of the time it goes wrong. The startup scale-ups doesn't speak the language of the corporate, doesn't know what the challenges are with them. And our group of in our coalition, we have the right resources and network to support those innovations, making those steps to their potential clients and potential investors. Then awareness. Awareness is, in our opinion, a very important element. The awareness to households, the awareness to the young public, the awareness to impact investors, those foundations out there that have millions, billions to spend, but don't realize how important the topic water is and where we actually stand, what the crisis is. You hear way more climate change. Water is part of the climate change. You also see a lot around plastic and waste. Again, that plastic is in the sea, in the water. So we feel that we need to get that awareness around the topic of water and the issues out there. And then last but not least is education. You can see education in several ways. Education is powerful because it brings lasting change. And we feel we need to educate, again, the group of young people, those future leaders that need to start now their education as an engineer to bring the new technologies of the future, but also the educations, for example, at the industrial level, at the employee level. So we are working together with partners that can provide those education programs. Why is WaterSpark unique? Why is the coalition unique? The question that I received the most over the last few months is, why are you different, and why are you similar to X, Y, or Z? We're not similar. We're not a mandate. We're not a program. We actually want to support those programs out there. So basically, we are an umbrella. We're built from the ground up. We have the seasoned global leaders that are experienced with investing, with the technologies, on the end user side, the corporate water strategy, all those elements needed to accelerate the innovation. They all work for their own companies, and they feel together with us that this is too important and that we need to really take actions. And I think that's maybe the most important difference between WaterSpark and other initiatives, is we're biased for action. Let's not talk anymore. I've been over the last 10 years at a lot of trade shows, exhibitions, summits, and all these organizations talk to each other, and then what? We need action. We reject the status quo, and we are not looking at the past. We need to look at the future. We are a collaboration, and we are inclusive. To give you a little bit of a picture, this is the ecosystem, and this is the ecosystem that we need to work together. Those are the elements, those are the companies that we need to work together. An important role is there for the corporations. Those corporations, they can implement the technologies, they can speed it up, they have capital, they have skills, they have supply chains. So we need them as part of this acceleration. And then we have investors and development banks, basically the capital needed, very important. There's also NGO programs that are out there, and corporations and investors are realizing the value and go a lot to those NGOs to set up partnerships. Today we are working together with the Unknown Group. We feel innovation platforms, challenges, acceleration programs, incubation programs need to be there. But what you've seen over the years is that Some of those programs are lacking water, the topic of water, or have not the experience and the knowledge in water. So then ultimately not the right technologies being chosen, or we need to just focus more on those programs with the right level of knowledge and network and deal flow. We feel that the public sector needs to be a part of this, basically the consumer educations programs. There are education programs out there like Project WET, and we are supporting them and they support us. There's quite some exhibitions, summits around water, and we will work together. We will set up pavilions and those kind of things on those trade shows, because it is in the end where knowledge is being exchanged, where you get a new network, you find your buyer, you find your client. But what you don't see at those events a lot is that the industrial end user is there to find the innovations. So those programs need to be strengthened, and we need to go to other exhibitions, not